Hey, doesn't this look familiar? Welcome back everybody to Sonic Mania. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different and going through the game again. But I'm going to be covering something, well, actually very different right now. So I've got my file and the file from the Let's Play. But there's also this function over here called no save mode. Now, normally there's no like secrets menu that pops up for your actual files. You can just like, choose which zone you want to go to, etc, etc. But if you pick no save mode and then press X, there's actually a few different unlockable secrets in the game. Now in order to unlock these, you need to collect a certain number of silver medals from the Blue Sphere special stages, which I still haven't done all of those. But there are a few different things to show off here. For starters, we can select Sonic's ability. Now, Sonic normally has his drop dash in this game, but you can also choose to instead have the Super Peel Out from Sonic CD, or the Instant Shield from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This is something that kinda allows you to change up Sonic's abilities and such. If you want to play as Sonic but plays him in like a different style, you can do that in no save mode. On top of that, there's also And Knuckles mode. This is a mode that, well, it's kind of exactly what it says on the tin, and I can show some footage off from that later on as well. And Knuckles mode makes it so that a tiny little, or a little AI-controlled Knuckles follows you around. And yes, you can do this while playing as Knuckles. But the thing I really wanted to talk about for this is the Debug mode, which is required to do something. And it's also just really cool that they added a debug mode in the first place. So let's do this. Start up a new file with Tails. And we've still got, you know, the cutscene and whatnot. It's unfortunately unskippable. Though it's still like just as good now as it was back then. I guess while I'm here, I can also talk about Sonic Mania Plus, because since I've started the LP and recorded the final episode of this, there actually was an announcement for Sonic Mania Plus, an update that's coming to the Switch, as well as, like creating a physical release for the game. That's also going to be adding in Mighty and Ray from Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, the old, like, arcade game. And they look pretty cool. I'm a sucker for like old 90s characters. That's neither here nor there. Press Y while in debug mode to access debug mode. You can then select different objects by pressing the B button to cycle through them. And I believe it's X to plop them down? Yeah. So we can make ourselves like a ton of rings here, and bam, we got 25 rings already, nice. You can also do this to, you know, change up certain things as well, so once again, put a few more rings down. Or maybe we want to put down a few ring boxes. Maybe we want a checkpoint. Or maybe we just want to skip to the end of the stage. Also, maybe we just want the checkered record there. Why not? You can pretty much put anything you can think of in these special stages. Like, it's not just the wrecking ball from the first Eggman fight, it's actually like a pushable object. It's really cool. I think this was actually like a dummied out thing from the original version of Sonic 1, like a beta version of the game. And it's just really cool that they'd add something like this in. We can get enough speed, we can actually like push it up with us, and it can even like destroy badniks. Like you saw it destroyed one of those moto bugs there. We can ride on top of it. It's a really cool thing. You can also just like place enemies around, so you know, wanna place a couple of moto bugs there. Why not? Get some easy points. But one of the biggest things about this is that it also allows you to, well, immediately skip to the end of a stage. So by pressing a gold ring, you notice, like, the camera locks, and we can actually choose the end of the stage. Just right there, right then and there. We can even place Tails in different areas at this time. Some pretty cool stuff. And, of course, if you wanted to break things even further, you could always just put like a line of gold rings there, and then drop tails from the top. Now that is a cool bonus right there. Now the debug mode also has a few other things as well. You can actually kind of use this to see like how the stages are built. So we can go back into debug mode here, and you notice how there's like A layer and B layer here, like AL and BL? You can actually see like the different markers that tell the game to switch you to one layer or the other, like the foreground, and then you suddenly go into like the background area. So that's something really cool, and if I can find a spot to show it off, there's another thing as well. Oh, right. You can also see like breakable objects and whatnot. But there's something I want to find. Want to scroll around the stage until we find an Eggman icon. We can find Robotnik somewhere. Now the thing is as well, you can place like Tails in the environment and it doesn't kill him. However, there is something that will. Solid objects like this, you can't place yourself there. You immediately get shunted out. And in some cases, you can even like, I think you can even make your character die from that? Or do you just immediately get shunted? No, it's just shuntage. Absolute shuntage. Also, of course, as you'd expect, the number of objects that you can place actually do change depending on which zone you're in. So you can use this to even see like, some enemies like this. Like, I don't remember seeing this thing at all. I don't know what this is. Is it an enemy that goes in the water and we can't place it anywhere yet? I don't know. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. But what isn't a mystery is, of course, ending the stage right there. Let's put Tails here. Goodbye! I'm leaving. Alright. So now that we've covered that, I'm actually going to skip to the end of the game, because there is a little bit of something else to talk about. Oh, right, besides just breaking the environment here. Oh yeah, you can do that. So that's good. I'll meet you guys at the end of the game. Another thing of note is that by using debug mode, you can actually also get into Knuckles' version of Mirage Saloon Act 2, which, since this is a level that I didn't actually show off in-game for obvious reasons, let me do this real quick. Now, the thing about playing as Tails or Sonic in a Knuckles stage is that they're not always equipped to deal with the stuff that Knuckles is. But thankfully, like, the spin dash still works, we just can't break these rocks. Won't be breaking no rocks. My kingdom come. It also kind of lets us appreciate a piece of music that we didn't get access to. Which I've interrupted A, by talking, and B, by getting this invincibility power-up. Okay, I thought it was just gonna be cool that we could show off, like, a Knuckles stage as Tails. And, like, the ultimate end goal of using the debug mode is actually something similar to this, which I think I may have already also talked about already. Alrighty. Let's see. Unfortunately, we lost our shield. Oh, that's deeply unpleasant. Let's just avoid that. Lounce. No. Let's go, what? It didn't bounce the way I wanted to there. What am I doing? I can fly. I'm Tails. You know me? Shit. Shouldn't have said that. Anytime I say that, something bad is gonna happen. I know it. Not gonna like that at all. I'm actually gonna have to go to the sky. Well, ain't that a bit of a whoa, I was inside that pillar. Okay, that was definitely not made for Sonic and Tails interactions in mind. I feel like I'm going backwards this stage, because I probably am. No? Is this the right way to go? That's some baloney. Where am I? This just leads me to more questions. I'll admit, I've never actually done this before with Tails, so I don't know if this stage is possible. Also, we've changed the color palette. Somehow. There we go, we're alive. Also, I guess to note, if you die, you can just bring yourself back by using Debug mode. Where is the end? That's a pit. That's solid objects. And that's a Knuckles wall. Oh, there we are. So how do I get here from where I once was? You know, it doesn't matter. We've got the power of cheating. Alright. Let's have one ring so I don't die. There we go! Any Sonic Chaos fans out there? Because this giant caterpillar might look familiar. This guy was more or less the second boss of Sonic Chaos. I mean, he's different in this game, obviously, but functionally similar. He also broke the camera, which is fine. Honestly, the game probably wasn't expecting me to do that, so... Alright, we now continue to our regularly scheduled game breaking. Alright. With one last go through Titanic Monarch Zone, we can finally head off to something that Tails and Knuckles don't usually do. Now, you probably remember from the last episode that I beat the game with all the Chaos Emeralds. But Super Sonic has an exclusive boss fight. Sort of. If you come back here with Debug mode, you also get access to this boss fight as Super Tails or Hyper Knuckles. So it turns out that Heavy King really wanted the Phantom Ruby. And Dr. Eggman, well, he also wants the Phantom Ruby. But with the power of Super Tails, it's time to fight. Alright, So basically what we've got to do is dodge attacks and then get up to ramming speed. Now here's the big thing. We can actually be hurt in this fight. Now, thankfully, there's also like a pit down there that, or not a pit, a floor that we can just kind of crash on in case we want our rings. But I believe Heavy King is actually capable of hurting us. Now, of course, you've also seen that I've been doing this kind of dash thing that takes up our rings and causes the screen to flash. I want to collect the rings. Give me them ringy boys. Ringy ding ding. It's actually entirely possible to fight, like, this battle just on the ground as well. Obviously, that might not be the best solution, but hey, if that's what you want to do, then go for it. Unfortunately, like a lot of supersonic bosses tend to be, this fight's a little bit of a damage sponge, especially because he can kill you. Wow. Especially because this fight requires you to hit 2 targets, so let's try this again. You might also notice that because of the Phantom Ruby's powers, time is fucked. I like that it's more or less these 2 grown-ass men flailing around trying to get a rock. It's pretty crazy, pretty amazing. Not crazy, maybe cray. It could possibly be Cray. Let's try this again. I do want to avoid getting orbed by Heavy King. So again, getting orbed does damage you. Heavy King is one of the few entities in the world strong enough to do that. He's powerful. He's strong. See this guy? He lifts. You can tell because of his noodle arms. It's not even really noodle arm, it's like orbs stuck together. It's like whenever I try to draw muscles. It just ends up being lumps. As everyone can attest to. Or at least as the Twitter can attest to. Please do not make fun of my lumpy children. Leave my lumpy children alone. Eggs, man. Where are you? There we go. Thankfully, however, physical contact of any kind will damage them. Let's try to dodge out of the way. Where are you? There you are. It's a really neat, like, little psychedelic background going on here, though. Psychedelic eyeball. Maybe it's not psychedelic eyeball. Could be, though. I could see Psyche voicing a Sonic character of some sort. Well, that's Heavy King down. That's Eggman down. Guys, we just saved the universe. Or, you know, like, South Island again. Whoop. And thus it leads to Sonic Forces. Or I could say, and thus it leads to disappointment. Because they're basically the same thing. But hey, Super Tails didn't do it. Super Tails wasn't the one that saved the day, apparently. Little planet's going back to space. And there's Sonic. It was really Sonic the entire time. The end. Well, until Sonic Mania Plus. Now, I've already talked about my thoughts on this project beforehand, but I did kind of want to go over it once again and just say, Sonic Mania is a really good game. It's a really fantastic game. We need to try again and collect all the Chaos Emeralds, because obviously we didn't do that. But this is a really great game. If you're a fan of like the old 2D Sonic games, or even if you're not a fan of 2D Sonic, even if you're just like a fan of solid platformers in general, Sonic Mania is really great. It does have its issues. Like, I will say that there are small issues, like some stages that go on for a little bit too long, but I don't know. This game manages to perfectly encapsulate like what made the Genesis games so fun, while keeping like some modern spins to it. The music is obviously like all new, the graphics are like redrawn and stuff, the stages are well, somewhat new. But there's just a lot of charm, and I think that the guys that made this really managed to capture what made the Genesis games so good. And going back now, I kinda wanna play the Genesis games again. This game kinda gets me in the mood for that. But, whatever. There is one last thing I do want to talk about though. The extras menu. Now, I don't have everything unlocked because I don't have all the medals from the Blue Sphere stages. But how about I play around a Mean Bean Machine? Collecting a certain number does allow you to do things like view the staff credits at any time, do the sound test mode, or just play some Mean Bean Machine. Let's pop it up to 3. I'll also warn you guys, I'm terrible at Puyo. I want to get a purple man. A purple man. That's what I'm interested in. Get you a man that can do both, you know? And by both, I mean be purple and be a man. Basically, you should date Thanos. He's a lonely guy. As I said, I am, like, god-awful at Puyo. I am glob-awful. Get it? Because the little blobs? But it's okay, though. I still like this. And I do want to show this off, just to show, like, this is in the game. It's really cool. If you want a cool, solid version of Puyo Puyo with your Sonic game, get Sonic Mania. That's really the best thing, like right here. It's really just, if you want a Sonic game, you can get a Sonic game. If you want a Puyo Puyo game, if you want a system with 2 Puyo Puyo games, Sonic Mania is there for you. See you guys later.